Lesson 18, Standard Deviation. Example 1. 12 residents from the city of Rockland were randomly selected and asked, how many TVs are in your household? The following data were obtained. Calculate the standard deviation for this data and both describe and interpret the result. Well, in order to calculate the standard deviation for this data, we can use our TI-84 calculator to do that. Once we've done that, we can then use words to both describe and interpret the result. Now, in order for us to use the TI-84 calculator to calculate the standard deviation, we first need to enter all the data into the calculator. So to do this, we must enter the data into a list. To enter data into the TI-84 calculator, we press Stat, Enter, to enter the list editor. Now we can choose a list to enter our data in. There are 6 built-in lists labeled L1 through L6. Here we already have data from a previous example in List 1. We could either arrow up to the top of List 1 and press Clear Enter to clear out old data to make room for new data, or we could just press right arrow to move over to a already cleared list like List 2 and enter in the data. So I'll enter in this data into List 2. So the first data value was a 2. So we press 2 and then enter. Each data value gets entered into the calculator followed by an enter. Next data value, 3, enter. 3, enter. 1, enter. 2, enter. 5, enter. 3, enter. 4, enter. 1, enter. 2, enter. 4, enter. And finally, 3, enter. Now with our sample values in List 2, we could calculate statistics such as the standard deviation by pressing Stat, right arrow to the Calculate menu, and press Enter to select the one-bar stats command. Now we need to tell the calculator what list we put the data in. So we put this sample into List 2. To get to List 2, you could press second and the number 2. Now to execute this command, we press Enter, and the calculator displays all kinds of statistics for us, including both the sample standard deviation S sub x and the population standard deviation sigma sub x. In this case, we were just dealing with a random sample of 12 Rockland households, so we just need the sample standard deviation version S sub x. Here, carrying 2 places after the decimal, we'll see that the S sub x, the sample standard deviation, equals 1.22. Now that we have our calculated result, we can then describe the result. The description just merely reports in words of the problems the results that can be directly derived from the data. So in this case, we can say, in this sample, the standard deviation of the number of TVs per Rockland household is 1.22 TVs. Now, for an interpretation. Interpretations give meaning or explain the result. And since the standard deviation measures the standard, which is the typical or average amount of deviation, how far all the data values deviate from the mean, we can give this as an interpretation. The number of TVs per Rockland household in this sample varied about the mean of 2.75 TVs by about 1.22 TVs on the average.